It is without a doubt one of the most beautiful diplomatic residences in the nation's capital. The elegant 18th century French-style architecture is set behind a black wrought iron gate in a densely wooded area barely visible to passers-by along Vauxhall Road north of Georgetown. The house was designed by architect Horace Trombauer, but much of the credit now goes to his gifted chief designer, Julian Abel, the first African-American graduate of the University of Pennsylvania School of Architecture. The limestone facade is said to have been modeled after a famous private mansion on the Rue Grenouille in Paris. Below the stately pediment, the coat of arms of the Kingdom of Belgium. Ambassador Jan Matheson and his wife were at home.
Hi, Barbara.
Hello, nice to
Welcome.
see you. Thank
So
you
nice
very
for you to
much.
drop by. Please meet my wife.
Just inside the marble-floored entry hall, homage to the royal family of Belgium is prominently displayed.
His Majesty King Albert II and Her Majesty Queen Paula.
Beyond the foyer is a grand sitting room replete with French-inspired furnishings.
It's a late 18th century, what we call Louis XVI style, and it is made to perfection by an American family who wanted to build for themselves such a French mansion in the 30s.
The giant French doors of the sitting room lead to the gardens. Is a lot of your entertaining done outside here?
Yes, it depends on the season, of course.
The wooded lawn slopes down to reveal, in some seasons, the Potomac River in the distance. The Mathesons say the forest-like feel to the grounds make for an attractive sanctuary for deer and other wild critters. They're often seen roaming among the elegant statuary.
This is one of our 3 dining rooms.
3 dining rooms?
Yeah, but
Food is very important for Belgium, and
I'd like to have a look at the kitchen then.
well, we have a Belgian chef is waiting for us. Let's have a look.
So the kitchen is down here. Down a flight of stairs is the large professional kitchen, where Chef Jan van Houten was waiting.
This is our chef, Jan van Houten.
How do you do? Very nice to meet you.
It's Barbara.
What are we making today?
We're making the veal chicks with duvel, the Belgian beer, and then of course some Belgian vegetables like Brussels sprouts, some carrots from the garden, some fingerling potatoes and red beets. So.
Veal cheeks, he says, are available in most meat markets. Just ask the butcher. He says you begin by heating a little butter and olive oil in a heavy pan.
So what we're gonna do is we're just gonna nicely season them with pepper and with black pepper from the mill, and then salt.
When the butter is bubbling, you add the veal to brown.
And then we're gonna season them a bit on the top.
He says have ready what chefs call aromatics.
It's to give the sauce a flavor as well. So we have some carrot. For meat, I always use carrot, onion, and then thyme, bay leaves, and some garlic.
Then you'll need some beef stock. He made his from scratch using beef bones and aromatics.
And then I put them in my large stock pot there, and then I pour water on top and reduce them for a long time.
So you make your own beef stock?
I make all my stocks by myself, yeah.
When the meat is browned, he removes it from the pan and adds the onions, carrots, and garlic to that same pan. Don't change pots. The aromatics, he says, should cook in what's stuck to the bottom of the pan.
So what we're gonna do now is we bring our meat back with the aromats in the same stock pot, like I said, the Dutch oven.
Then you add the all-important
So now I,
Duzel beer.
Pour the duvel in there. We're gonna add the beef stock to it now as well. And this we're gonna simmer for like a nice hour in the oven.
He says it's best to have a pot like a Dutch oven that can go straight from the stovetop to the oven. If you have no cover, use aluminum foil to seal and cook at 350 for about an hour.
The longer you leave it in the oven, the softer it will be.
Then to the vegetables. He chose those used often in Belgium, beginning with cabbage.
This is again the vegetable who have to cook the longest, so we're gonna start with this one. You always take the outside leaves off, and then you just cut them in 4. Cut them like this, and take the white part out because this is really tough. And then you can kind of slice them in thin slices. And we're gonna cook it together with some vinegar, some sugar, make it a little bit sweet sour.
You start with a couple of tablespoons of butter in the saucepan. Add the cabbage and a little balsamic vinegar, a little water, some sugar, and simmer under the cover.
These are perfect things you can do in advance, like the day before. In Belgium, we make a lot of stews and all these things, and my grandmother told me when I start to cook, make it the day before, it gives the extra flavor.
As for the Belgian endive,
this is the better part here, so you don't want to eat this. So I always cut this out like this.
for this recipe, the endive is chopped like this, then cooked in a small pat of butter.
So this we're gonna season with pepper, salt. So we're just gonna add some sugar now when it starts to cook, just for the bitterness, not too much, just a little bit.
He says stir for about 10 minutes until it softens.
So we have Brussels sprouts too. I took the outside leaves away. I always kind of cut them in two.
He cooks those in boiling water until tender. His garnish will be little mushrooms carved from small fingerling potatoes. The potatoes are cooked for about 7 minutes in boiling water. And while the chef finishes up, we finished our tour upstairs.
Here is our library.
The library of the residence is a beautifully paneled room.
The paneling is in French oak. It's monumental on one side, and on the other hand, it's a cozy room for even for the two of us in the evening to sit by the fireplace and to enjoy this room. Whenever we have official delegations, they end up here after dinner.
They say the residence is a welcoming place, just as their country is to visitors from around the world. And where would he recommend tourists visit? Number 1, Bruges.
Bruges is a medieval city, very well kept, and it is it's a gem. Brussels, of course, the Grand Place in Brussels, the main square, but also Antwerp and Ghent. And Belgium is a densely populated country. It's 11 million people, and these cities have their own character, and they have their own food and beers and their own atmosphere.
And he says with its central location, Belgium is easy to reach from anywhere in Europe.
This is the official seal of the Belgian state.
And while we made our way to dining room number 3, downstairs, Chef Jan van Houten was busy plating the lunch. The third dining room is decorated in trellis work to look like an outdoor garden.
Please have a seat.
We could smell the delicious aroma of the veal stew as it arrived hot from the kitchen.
I think I'll taste the Brussels sprout first. It's wonderful.
Barbara, let me welcome you, wish you bon appetit, and let us drink to the friendship between Belgium and the United States.
Indeed.